Hi there. Hello. Good afternoon and welcome back. Yep, well, Monday, first working day of the week, and I have survived it. Not sure how, but I have. Seriously though, it's been a good day. My father, who's now retired and lives in Jamaica, I heard a few weeks ago that he had a stroke, but I didn't hear anything else. Couldn't get hold of my older brother, who's based here in London, because he's been out there and seen him. But fortunately, my elder sister called me via Facebook. Thank God for Facebook, free phone calls, all that. Yeah, and she told me he's okay. There's no cranial bleed. Well, I think no blood in the skull. No, yeah, yeah, no bleeding in the brain or anything like that. But his right side is not what it was. But fortunately, it's not too bad. He's survived the ordeal. That takes a lot off my mind. Well, certainly my mind. Been thinking a lot about the weekend. It was very productive. I've related my adventures, linking up with my cousin. Well, a cousin, after nearly 30 years. Yeah, that's still back in my mind. Has been back in my mind all day. I'm still in a good place. Work took well, I was focused on what I was doing, so that took a lot off my mind. And the news about my father, I can sleep better now. Not having to worry too much about him, although his living arrangements with his current wife do give me some cause for concern. But I'm here in London. He's in Jamaica. He's 80 years old now. He has all this life experience. As far as I'm aware, his faculties are still intact. He wants to talk to me. He wants to talk to my younger brother. So me, I'm not too surprised about. But my younger brother, he hasn't really had much to do, and neither of them have had very much to do with each other for so long. Decades really. But well, that's family all over, isn't it? Uh, Fortunately, I will be getting contact details for him, so we will be talking either via, probably not Facebook, but certainly WhatsApp, and it won't be a verbal call, it will be a face to face call, and that would be good because I can see how he is and how he looks. Of course, I know how my father looks, but I haven't seen him since November 1998 when he was heading out to Jamaica for good. Although he did come back to the UK for a while, but unfortunately, I didn't see him because I was kind of wrapped up with what I was doing down here in London. And yes, Birmingham is about 120 miles north of London. I could have jumped on a train or a bus stroke coach and gone and seen him, but I was just wrapped up with what I was doing. A job, market research job that really wasn't worth. I can't use an expletive, so I've got to kind of keep it clean here. Yeah, it's wasted 8 years of my life in that. So when I think about the last time I saw my dad, yeah, it brings back sad memories, obviously, because it's the last time I saw him, but it also reminds me that things in terms of career, and well, I never had a career at that point. I think acting gave me a career. Prior to acting, I just had a series of jobs, and most of them led nowhere. Although, I'm still an actor. I think once you go into the business, even if you're not acting, you are still an actor. One of the great things that an actor can do is to live, and I'm living. I'm not in an ivory tower. I'm going out to work every day so far. So I'm actually living and gaining experience and interacting with people. So that's all grist to the mill, as they say. But yeah, acting gave me a career, and I feel that even though I'm not working as an actor, I still have that career because I have worked, and I have done a lot. A lot of it I'm proud of, to be quite quite honest with you. Yeah. That reminds me of a audition I had with an agency. They were called, what was it, Wilson Goth. And I walked in there, and there's about 8 people in the room, and I did my bit, and then they looked at the CV and said, "Well, where's the meat?" I'm not sure what the hell they expected. I mean, I had the work there, but they weren't impressed. So Wilson Goff and I couldn't do business, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't do business because prior to that audition, I was working in major movies. I had experience of being on film sets and things, and after that, as an actor, I worked in theatre and film. So, Wilson Goff was doing me no favours. In fact, they did me a favour. They told me that we couldn't do business, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't. But yes, yeah, it's been a good day. It's a good day all around. So, what am I going to do this evening? Right, well, I'll have a snack and sort out a few things. I haven't actually got round to writing my piece on the Windrush scandal that's going on in the UK right now about people of colour from, or let's call it what is, black people from the Caribbean who came over here during the 40s, 50s, and 60s on their parents' passports, which was British. They arrived here, they were born as British citizens stroke subjects. They came here on their parents' passports, and they've lived here. They clearly didn't travel anywhere because now, you know, they've lost their jobs. Some people have lost their jobs, some of them, and in the UK now, to gain employment, you have to produce papers, i.e., a passport. They didn't have any papers, they didn't have a passport, so they were viewed as illegal immigrants. And some of them have been deported. I think one person went to their parents' funeral somewhere in the Caribbean, and they couldn't come back. They've lived all their lives here, they have paid taxes, they're paid into the health service, the national health service in this country, and suddenly, you know, they're not wanted. Now, the thing is, if you are an EU national, and I see myself as an EU national because, Britain has been in what was then known as the Common Market or the European Economic Community, morphed into the EU. I see myself as an EU national. So my fellow EU nationals who come from the continent, whether it's France, Spain, Portugal, Lithuania, Poland, in Eastern Bloc countries, Bulgaria, Romania, whatever. I mean, they've come here and they're working. There's very few of those people I've met who are claiming benefits from the states. They're earning their money, they're paying into the tax system, and they're saving, they're sending money home. And suddenly it's kind of like, well, they're not wanted. Britain's voted to leave the EU, what they call Brexit. But here's the problem. You know, you've got people who, or people of colour anyway, who were born as British citizens. Even if they were born, you know, in what was then the Empire, now the Commonwealth, they came here on their parents' passports, say they were British. I'm not sure why they didn't take out a passport for themselves. I'm not at liberty. Well, not at liberty. I don't really know, but they didn't take out a passport, but they are still British citizens. So now, Britain, the establishment, they want out of the EU. Well, 52% of people voted to leave the EU, but get this, they want to trade with the rest of the world, i.e., the Commonwealth. Well, if you're treating people whose origins are from the Commonwealth in such a disgusting way, uh, do you really think people are going to want to do business with you? And this is what the idiots who call themselves Brexiteers don't understand. They basically sold people a lie. Now, there are very good reasons to leave the EU. I mean, I've seen many things on YouTube. I've read many things that make perfect sense. But in the referendum campaign that they held here, there was very little common sense coming from the exit camp. I mean, well, he's not his greatest fan, but Nigel Farage, I mean, we could argue had a point. But the thing was, it wasn't properly thought out, and now we have this thing that's reared its ugly head. I was born here. My parents came from Jamaica on British passports. I think in the mid 80s, there was some law about to get your British citizenship or passport, you had to pay £60. My parents, most of my family who were from Jamaica, did that and got the passports. I'm not sure why the people now at the centre of the Windrush scandal, why they didn't do it. Were couldn't Maybe they couldn't afford to do it. Maybe they didn't know about it. It is possible, but it's kind of shown up the British establishment for what it is. Really, that it is overtly racist. I don't want to kind of get my soapbox about this, but you can't you can't be treating those EU nationals here like dirt. Saying, well, we don't want you here. The system saying we don't want you here, and then you want to trade with the rest of the world. And then you treat people from the rest of the world, your own people are British, in such a way. And if I was a business in India or the Caribbean, or any of the Commonwealth countries, I'd be wondering, well, do I really want to trade with Britain if this is the way they treat our people? It really doesn't make sense. Well, common sense is not that common anyway. But on to lighter things. Yes, guitar lessons. I've got the equipment, but I've yet to start. Yeah, I know. It's Gennis on about his bloody guitars again. Yeah, but it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I am going to do it. That's why I went out and got the guitars and things like that. I was looking at the Facebook Marketplace again, and there's some really good axes out there. Well, my way of describing electric guitars, but it does amaze me that some people are selling guitars for, several £100s. If I had that kind of disposable income, I wouldn't be buying a £700 guitar from the Facebook Marketplace. I'd be going into the stores to buy it. But as one gentleman said to me, he was selling a really nice electric guitar, white electric guitar, for 820 pounds sterling, or GBP, if you want, if you will. And he said, well, I wrote to him and said, well, it's out of my price range, but it's a beautiful piece of machinery. And he says, well, unfortunately, right, he paid really good money for it, so he can't afford to sell it for less than what his asking price is, because it cost him a lot of money. I think it cost him over £1,000. But hey, if you've got that money, well, I mean, me, I very rarely sell anything. I mean, I tend to kind of give it away if I have no purpose for it. But I think if I had a guitar's worth several £100s, I don't think I would be selling them. But some people, they've said, look, they're having a clear out, so they need to get rid of it. So good. I mean, I've done well by it. I have two bass guitars. One needs a bit of work. I might save my pennies and probably get another bass. I think about getting a couple of acoustic guitars as well. I've got one. I've had it for years and never used it. But the conventional guitars, I just find them kind of bulky. The ones I much prefer are the round back acoustic guitars. So I will be investigating, but until then I'll be saving my pennies and not overindulging myself. Speaking of which, I better put something inside my body to give me energy before I tackle the gym. So it's been nice relating my day to you and what's going on through my mind, but please drop me a line and let me know your thoughts whether you agree with me or not. It's always good to hear an alternative point of view to what I'm talking about, and maybe you may have some information or tips on helping me in my guitar studies and practice, because I don't intend to do pay to learn. I might eventually do that, but I want to kind of do it myself. Take it as far as I can. I guess in that I will. Well, YouTube will be my best friend on that. I mean, I do know a few musicians via Facebook. I wonder if John in New Jersey, yeah, he might be able to help. I'll contact him. He's a multi instrumentalist. He had a great career. Yeah, I'll contact John and get a few tips from him. But until my next video entry, wherever you are, have a good day, a good morning, a good evening, whatever the time zone you're living in. And thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Bye, bye for now.